We are live on Facebook, ladies and gentlemen. We are live on Facebook. I think we're live on Facebook anyway.
Yes, we are. Yes,
Like it.
we are.
Yes, indeed.
Can you see it? Can y'all see me out there? Can you see yourself out there? Okay, yes, we are. All right, good.
There's somebody saying something.
That's my volume on my, whatchamacallit. Let me turn that down so I ain't got to deal with that. So turn your volumes down, folks. How y'all doing, brothers?
Doing well, doing well.
Doing well.
Oh, my brother's doing. My brother's doing well tonight.
Great.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. As y'all can see, we got a supernatural,
A supernatural special guest.
a supernatural special guest tonight on the Night Brothers Intermittent Fasting Show. It really started with this brother right here, y'all, and we're gonna get into his bio in a little bit, but it started with this brother because this brother was the one that had the knowledge and changed my whole way of thinking and eating and got my lifestyle, my dietary situation correct. And, you know, we passed it on throughout the family and now everybody doing great things. Arden Smith, what's up, my brother? Natural.
Much love to you, brother. Much love to you.
Man. You know, y'all family been family from day one, the A1s, man. Now we call Lenny medium Lenny now because he used to be big Lenny. You know what I mean? They ain't medium Lenny. Lenny lost like 100 pounds, y'all. Y'all just no. What?
No doubt. I used to be, you know what I mean? But
they used to call him Big Lenny. Big Lenny.
Yeah.
And now he still got plenty, but he medium size.
Cheryl Hunt, how you doing today? How you doing? Good to see you, Cheryl Hunt. Welcome to the show.
Well, look, y'all, we're gonna kick this thing off. We're gonna get this thing rocking tonight, and let me get my setup going, and we're gonna get it cranking tonight. Hold on, I'm messing up, but while you rocking out, welcome to the Night Brothers Intermittent Fasting Show. It's showtime. Showtime, baby.
Roger Parker, how you doing, brother?
Gonna be a hot show tonight. Gonna be a hot one tonight.
That boy looks strong over there, man. God, who's that with all the muscles?
Got a power-packed show tonight. I'm glad y'all is on here. You don't want to miss it tonight. Nacho, you know who made that music, right?
Oh, probably Super Funky Night. Night Boogie. We call him El Boogie in the building.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Oh,
there you go. There go the big night boys right there. Those the real night boys right there. That's right. They got it tight.
All right. Welcome to the Night Brothers Intermittent Fasting Show, my folks.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening.
And
Indeed.
We do this every Tuesday night where we talk about health, we talk about intermittent fasting, we talk about a protocol that can help a lot of our communities in a lot of ways. And I'd like to say hello to a couple of people that jumped in. Q, I see Tracy Harley out there. I used to work with that brother at Total Time back in the day. What's up, Tracy?
I want to say hi to Roger Parker and to Cheryl Hunt as well. Thank them for joining us tonight.
And I see Diana Fennell out there.
Uh-oh, D Fennell. That's my love. Love you, babe. Glad you're here. Definitely.
And your brother Joe Cobb is out there too.
How you doing, Joe?
Joseph? Yeah, he gonna be medium Joe in a minute. He on his thing. He doing his thing.
We're gonna get him on this intermittent fasting. But let me introduce you to tonight's host of the show. He's been doing it longer than any of us. He's kind of got us in here. Equavian Knight, they call him Q, they call him E. That's my brother, big brother. Equavian Knight, how you doing, my friend?
Doing great. I'm glad to be with you guys tonight. It's been a great day, and I'm looking forward to having a nice show tonight.
Give thanks.
So Q, I know we normally hit your bio, and at the time I made this slide, I don't know, about a couple of weeks ago, you was up to 88 pounds lost in 1 year. I guess that's in the 90s now?
Oh, definitely. In the 90s. We're in the 90s now, guys.
No doubt.
Sir, salute.
You'll hear this word protocol a lot. We'll tell you what the protocol is. It's just the regiment of what is intermittent fasting. We'll talk about that in a second. But Q, you love the 20-hour fast, the 4-hour feeding window. Why is that so, brother?
That just works best for my lifestyle. I find it's comfortable for me, and it allows me to get the rest of my day in. I don't have to concentrate on food for the bulk of the day. So I get to eat 2 meals during that 4-hour period, though, and I find it works for me. And it's helping me to just maintain and lose weight at the rate that I want to lose.
Hey, Lenny.
Yes, sir.
You asked him why. Do you see the bottom right picture over there? That's why. That's the WA. Why, baby? That brother is boom, boom. I mean,
no doubt. Look at the guns on him. Brother got guns. I ain't got no guns. I got twigs over here. You know what I mean?
Hey man, I got shoot archery over this joint. That's why I got a long sleeve shirt on, man.
No doubt. Q, you exercise about 4 or 5 times a week. We see you on Facebook walking a whole lot of mornings. I know the gym is shut down, but you still doing your thing.
Yeah.
Your diet is mostly carnivore.
Yes.
And miscellaneous, no alcohol, no smoking. And this is the most impressive one to me, man, for you 60-some years old, brother.
Yes, sir.
Awesome,
Man.
awesome.
And I want you to introduce our co-host, my brother, Lenny Knight. And Lenny's an awesome guy. Anybody who knows him knows he's an awesome guy, and he just loves helping people. And he'll help anybody, no question about it. Lenny has lost 45 pounds in the last year through intermittent fasting. He's been fasting for the last couple of years. He's gotten serious about it lately. His favorite protocol, Lenny, your favorite protocol is the 20-hour fast with a 4-hour feeding window as well. And
Yep.
Tell me why you enjoy that most.
Well, you know, I started off with the 16-8 and then gradually worked my way up. And then when you kept saying you like the 20-hour window and the 4-hour, I started doing that a lot more. I really got comfortable with that phase. That's why.
Yes. Okay, good. Lenny exercises 4 to 5 times a week. You guys see him out there running. He's a 70% vegetarian, 30% pescatarian. Lenny does like his wine. He will drink his wine and beer occasionally as well. He does not smoke. And Lenny's also not on any prescribed medication, which is awesome. You know, and that's one of the things about intermittent fasting. There's so many other health benefits. We talk about the weight loss, which is a major thing for most people, but the other benefits, which we'll get into more in further shows, are even more vital as far as I'm concerned.
No doubt.
Yes.
Q.
Yes.
Let's introduce our special guest tonight.
Yes, sir. And we're gonna tag team him tonight. Our special guest tonight is Mr. Arden Natural Smith. All around great guy, man. I mean, he's a guy that you can't help but like him. If you're around, you can't help but like this guy. This guy has natural charisma. That's one thing about him I love, you know. High energy, no question about it. And natural right now is he's in a maintenance phase as far as weight loss is concerned. He really doesn't need to lose any weight, but he adapted intermittent fasting a long time ago, and he uses as a part of his everyday living, as we all do now as well. His favorite protocol right now is 18-hour fasting, 6-hour feeding window, which because basically he's in the maintenance phase, like we said. That works mostly for his lifestyle. He exercises 4 to 5 times a week, much like some of us. And the thing about Arden is he's been into martial arts for over almost 40 years. Into martial arts, he's a 6th-degree black belt. And I'll tell you something, he's so good at this that he was adopted into the USNA Hall of Fame. And you see him with there's a picture there with him with a plaque. Arden is just like I said, he's an all-around guy, and he's 100% vegetarian. Arden has been a vegetarian for a long time. He drinks wine and beer as well. He's not a smoker, and he's also on no prescribed medication. So come on, let's give it up for our special guest, Mr. Arden Natural Smith. Come on, let's give it up for him.
Thanks for coming on tonight, Arden, to join us. And we do this every week. Right here on Facebook Live.
How you doing, Joe Cobb? How you doing, Flower Blossom? Good to see you out here tonight.
Leanne Jenkins, what's up? I see you jumping in there. Got the Jenkins family out there tonight. Thanks.
How you doing, Joanne?
My home slice over there, Joe. We love you.
We want to give some love to some of our team out there, some of our members that's really doing it up out there in the intermittent fasting world. Q, you want to call some of them out?
My girl, Paris Lane.
Cheryl Hunt, Tori Walton, Paris Lane, Ashley Brown Knight, Leonard Knight, Joanne Jenkins, Lenny Rice, Keith Colbert, Sean Spain, Carlos Rice, and all of those guys have just jumped on board, and they love the lifestyle, and they're living proof of what intermittent fasting can do, because all of them are having great results, and we're proud of them and want them to keep on the journey.
Yes,
y'all look, it's okay. Hit the like or the love button on your Facebook and give them people some love, because they jumping in and taking control of their health.
Lenny, I think next week you better make sure you add Flower Blossom to our list as well.
Oh, okay.
And we have some new people who have come on board this week. Kimberly Queen, awesome Deborah Wilkerson, and Wanda Burton Powell Burton.
All right.
So this community just continues to grow, as we can see. The community continues to grow as more people are adopting this lifestyle. But Lenny, this is the question. Arden, Lenny, what's the question that's up for now? Right?
Who's next?
There you go.
Who's next? How much you want to lose? It's time for you to choose. You want 30, you want 40, you want like the Knight Brothers, 50 or 100. It's on you, baby. You got the power. That's what it comes down to. Tell them, Knight Brothers, y'all got the recipe. These brothers got the recipe. You on the right show right now.
We'd like for you to please like, share, and subscribe to our channel, and support our mission here on Facebook Live. And it's not about, like I said, it's really not about us. It's about developing a community so we all get healthier together. That's really the goal and objective. Lenny, tell them about this Zero Fasting app that you've been talking about.
The Zero Fasting app is something that I use, to kind of track where I am, how many hours I am into my fast each day, so I can kind of look at it and I don't have to keep mentally adding it up myself. And you can take pictures when you break your fast of foods and share it with people that what you're doing out there. So I like using that. And look, tonight we got to take a little second to pay tribute to this situation that's going out here in America. We socially conscious, and we just want to make that aware to say rest in peace to George Floyd.
Yes, absolutely.
Prayers to his family, and if you are going to demonstrate, do it safe and peacefully. We all of this looting and breaking up the windows, and look, I know it's tensions and everything, but let's try to do things the right way, because we honor the memory in the right way. The man lost his life, unfortunately. So, we just want to honor it the right way.
Yes, I'm in agreement with that.
So, Q.
Yes.
Since I'm a drinker, I shouldn't say the way I said that, Lord, that was.
You sound like a problem, sir.
People can take that any kind of way, brother.
But I know you don't.
Since I like to participate in the libations sometimes, you know what I mean? People always ask me, how do you handle intermittent fasting and you drink alcohol sometimes? Well, look, first of all, I've been doing it for a while, so I can still kind of maintain the balance. But I just wanted to throw some information out there and say, which one of these is your go-to? I hate to say that too, but and so whichever one of these type of things you like to drink, if you like drinking hard liquor like the Crown Royal and the Cavassier and the Hennessy, that type of stuff, hit 1 or 4. If you like the beer or wine, you know what I mean, hit the 2 for the wine, 6 for the beer. If you like mixed drinks, hit 5, whatever it is. But these give you some ideas of what you need to do. No doubt, Tracy Harley put Total Wine. Me and him used to work at Total Wine together, Q.
Okay, all right.
We know
no more.
Alcohol.
You gotta drink.
Yeah.
No doubt. But
well, Lenny, you know, I'm not a drinker per se, but I would say of the ones that are on this list, I know the one I would indulge in would probably be number 5, because I've always said, for me, the only way I could really drink alcohol, it had to be almost like a Slurpee or something. This one emulates the Slurpee right here. So number 5 would probably be mine, a strawberry daiquiri. So I guess I'd have to go for an hour-long walk after having one.
I hear you, brother. I hear you. So you get there with the daiquiris, you say, huh?
Yes, sir. Yeah,
that means you got to do more work with the daiquiri. You got to do more
that's
work.
right, though. I just have to go out for a walk afterwards.
No doubt. Look, man, you do what you got to do when you're working it out, you know. So look, let's move on. Let's keep this thing moving into the show tonight, and let's get into our subjects really. So what is our big number one for the night? Number one for the night is number one subject, mind mastery. And I'm gonna let you really kind of take this one and tell us what's going on with this.
The bottom line is, who's in charge of you? Is your body running you? Is your mind running you? You know, what is it? What is it? The funny thing is, a friend of mine always said, one of the smallest parts of a human being is running the entire human being. A lot of people say, if it doesn't taste right, I'm not going to eat it, which is incredibly crazy, because most of the stuff that tastes super good are usually on the bottom of the list as far as being healthy, because it's a bunch of sugar, a bunch of salt, a bunch of stuff like that. But who's in charge? Is your tongue in charge of your brain, or in charge of your mind, or is your mind in charge of your body?
No doubt.
Topic 2.
I fell off. Now what?
How about
it? And this happens to a lot of people. They were doing great. So you were eating healthy. You were, eating healthy and doing the right things. And all of a sudden you just fell off track. And all of a sudden you went back to some old eating habits.
Bitch, I'm hungry.
And it got comfortable to you. You got used to it. So yeah, you fell off. And damn, I feel full. But the question is, now what? Right. What are you going to do to get back on track? Are you ready to get back on track?
And subject number 3, we always hit 2 or 3 subjects each show. 5 tricks to control your appetite.
Oh, that's it. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it's definitely some good tricks out there if you really want to kind of control your appetite. Some tricks to help you get back on track too. So we're gonna break down those 5 things with the fella. 2 for Tupac over there.
3 for my boy.
4 for the Fresh Prince. And 5 for who's that?
And Wanda Sykes.
That's it.
Mm-hmm.
So we're gonna get into that. But first, let's hit the basics, Q.
Yes, we always like to start with the basics because we always have new people joining us every week, and we want to make sure everybody understands just how the basics of intermittent fasting work. And the first thing you want to do if you're a beginner is to select a protocol. You will have a fasting window and a feeding window. In other words, a time which you restrict your eating and a time when you eat. And the beginning protocol, starter protocol, is for a 16-hour fast, followed by 8-hour eating window. That's for the beginner. Naturally, you want to talk about the next one? It's usually an 18-hour fast, followed by a 6-hour eating window. And then we have the 20-hour fast, which is what Lenny and I normally use now, referred to as the warrior diet, 20-hour fast with a 4-hour eating window. And finally, we have what's called OMAD, which is what I use initially, one meal a day.
Yes, sir.
During a 24-hour period. So number 1, who is the boss of you? And naturally, we want you to take the lead on this one.
No problem, no problem. You know, it really comes down to your mindset and where are you and what are your goals? What do you want to do? Beyond everything, it's one step at a time. You find out that after you take that time off and you wake up, you got 4 or 5 hours, depending on when you want to start eating, if it's at 12 or if it's at 8. 12 to 8 or 2 to 6 or whatever that time period you choose. It's your consciousness is going to push you through. It's the bottom line of you mastering yourself and you controlling yourself, which will lead into other aspects of your life when you feel like you got control over, your impulses. The fact is if you can stop yourself from eating, if you feel like you're hungry before you choose your time to eat, then as you get better at that, guess what? When it's time to go to work, when it's time to go work out, you know that you're in control. And after a while, your mind just pushes you to do what you need to do. I mean, literally, I wake up in the morning and everything's set up for me to go work out, period.
Yes.
That's what's going to happen 7 days a week. You know, I sometimes have to tell myself to take a day off just to get some rest and rest my body. But the bottom line is, after a while, you create a ritual of good things. They say habits can kill you, or they can build you or destroy you. Great habits make great people. It's not that they were great at the beginning, they just created a great habit and a great scenario of how they live. So at that point in time, you get in a good groove, and yourself, your body, and your mind won't let you get out of that groove. It'll say, oh man, you're going the wrong direction, and you'll be able to slide right back in there. But who's in charge, man? This is a very good video that Lenny showed me earlier, and I definitely want to have you guys check that out.
A redundant set of automatic, unconscious thoughts, behaviors, and emotions that's acquired through repetition. A habit is when you've done something so many times that your body now knows how to do it better than your mind. So if you think about it, people wake up in the morning, they begin to think about their problems. Those problems are circuits of memories in the brain. Each one of those memories are connected to people and things at certain times and places. And if the brain is a record of the past, the moment they start their day, they're already thinking in the past. Each one of those memories has an emotion. Emotions are the end product of past experiences. So the moment they recall those memories of their problems, they all of a sudden feel unhappy, they feel sad, they feel pain. Now, how you think and how you feel creates your state of being. So the person's entire state of being when they start their day is in the past. So what does that mean? The familiar past will sooner or later be a predictable future. So if you believe that your thoughts have something to do with your destiny, and you can't think greater than how you feel, or feelings have become the means of thinking, by very definition of emotions, you're thinking in the past.
Wow.
Right.
Wow. Break that.
Key takeaways. Very key
takeaways. A lot of
takeaways.
information in that video. Can you break down that video?
Sure. Habits are repetition, basically behaviors. Like I said, it's basically what you're going to do time after time. Your body will set up a situation where it becomes almost like muscle memory. You know what I mean? You get something done and you can do it and do it and do it. And when you go to describe to somebody what it is, you have to kind of do it yourself, and your muscles kind of say, oh yeah, that's what I do. But when you wake up and looking back in memories, I mean, you wake up with money issues, you're thinking about your job, your relationship, all of that stuff is in the past. And they say, if you constantly live in the past, you constantly live with regret. Yes. Because you won't change that being there in the past. Your feelings of uncertainty and everything else, feelings of nervousness and stress and being stressed, it means you're not in that present moment, you know, and that's where we want to live, because in that moment is where the power is. You can do and be whatever at that point because you're in that moment. Your feelings linked to the past, they'll always have you challenged, you know, your past success, even your past failures, you know. If you live back in the back and say, I did this and I did this and I did this, it's still not moving you forward. A really good friend of mine, well, actually a mentor of mine, always said, you know, if you focused and you turn around to somebody else and say, look, Lenny, look, Q, I'm focused. At that point, you fail to be focused. You know what I'm saying? So it's very important to be in that present mind and be focused, not on the same old results or the same things, because that'll keep going and you'll stay in that mindset and you'll start to attract. Like Q always says, you'll attract what you think, what you focus on, which will be what you attract to yourselves. And that can be prevented if you think in the right things. Amos used to always say, Amos Johnson said, you got to get rid of that stinking thinking.
We always say what you focus on expands. So, you know,
exactly.
So that's what, you know, you be careful what you focus on.
Indeed. Even like it now, I mean, you know, we're going to jump to this next one, but even now, when you start focusing on the despair of the situation that's going on right in the streets and in the country we're dealing with right now, you know, that can get you into a mindset of unproductivity. You know what I mean? Unless you're building to move forward and move forward on some positive notes and build.
So topic 2, I fell off. Now what? Damn, I fell off. Okay, so you fell off, and my brother's getting it in there. So the key question is, after you fall off, what can you do about it? So how do you get back on track? this video is going to talk a little bit about getting back on track. What happens when you fall off and what you should do. And it's a video for one of our mentors, Mr. Edward V from Fledge Fitness. Lenny, run the video if you would.
What is going on, High Warriors? It's your boy Edward V, and today we're going to talk about how to get back on intermittent fasting when you fell off. It happens to the best of us. Stay tuned. Paint a little picture. You were doing intermittent fasting. It was fantastic. You lost a lot of weight in your first week, and then you just went onto a cruise control and started losing consistent weight after that. You kept it going, and then one day you went out to eat, and it was outside your window. And you didn't really plan to do this. You were just thinking to yourself, hey, I'm going to go ahead and eat today. What's the harm in it? I've been doing intermittent fasting for 3 weeks strong, 1 month strong, 3 months strong. So you go ahead and eat, you enjoy your meal, you come back home, and you tell yourself, hey, listen, I'm going to go ahead and make sure that I do intermittent fasting tomorrow. And then tomorrow comes and you are on your path to do the intermittent fasting regimen that you're supposed to do, but you start noticing that you are now getting hungry outside of your window. And it's a little concerning, yet you are kind of giving into it. You start focusing so much on the new hunger that you're starting to feel. You try to keep putting it off, but you just can't shake it. And then it happens. You eat outside your window again and again and again and again until you no longer are doing intermittent fasting.
Wow.
Guys, it's so easy for you to fall off when you're not focused. Like we just said on the previous segment, what you focus on expands, and losing your focus can cause you to fall off, and falling off can become so comfortable for you that you go back into those old habits. So it's just like riding a bike. If you fall off the bike, you get back up on the bike and you start riding again. Right. Your intermittent fasting is like I call it almost like a light switch you can turn on and off. And but some of the rules to get you back when you fall off is to always drink water before your meals. Try eating salads and vegetables first, to get you back in the flow. Plan your meals and stop freestyling. If you plan out your meals, it'll be easier for you to stay on with the protocol. I
thought we was gonna freestyle the second half of this, man.
Okay. Get a pattern. Set a pattern, man. Have your pattern of eating and follow some of my examples. Use the same protocols. I use the same protocol, the 20 and 4 method. Always exercise. Now, I don't exercise before my meals. I find exercising in the morning works better for me. And always take your supplements. I usually take mine before my meals. Things like black seed oil and my vitamins. I'll take those before my meals.
Black seed oil is a bomb, boy.
Oh, no question about it.
What does that do for you, though, Q? Let me ask you just real quick. What does that do for you taking it right before your meals, if I may ask?
For one thing, it helps to me. See, some of the supplements that I take could technically break my fast. That's why I take those before my meals so that I won't break my fast. Okay, that's one of the things I do. And get some damn sleep. Sleep is important. That's the overlooked component with this. That is one of the overlooked components, Lenny.
Yes, sir.
If you get tired before you go to bed, and you just keep burning the candles, it really can catch up with you. And what I try to do is, one night a week, I go to bed a little bit earlier than the other nights.
Great idea.
Sleep. And because what I found out is, especially during my bad eating before I was doing intermittent,
yes,
that if you stay up too late, even after you ate and a couple hours later, you're susceptible to eating again.
Yes, absolutely.
Guys, do you find that if you eat late, you're usually hungry that next morning? Because that's what I find for me. If I eat late, the next morning, I'll have an urge to eat. Even if I don't eat, I'll still feel that urge because I ate late.
Yes.
You guys feel that?
And it's what you eat as well. You eat some carbs and things of that nature because they don't fill you. It's not nutrient dense. You'll wind up wanting to be hungry again. And I always use the Chinese food example, Another thing that you can do if you fell off to get back on track, I call it don't buy the problem. So what I mean by that is, Q, break that down.
Yes, don't buy the food problems. The thing is, falling off, like I said earlier, is so easy to do, but don't buy into that. Guys, as you grow in this thing, you'll learn that getting back on track is easy. Don't bring bad habits into your kitchen. Don't bring bad eating habits. Bringing in those things into your house, the chips and the stuff that that'll get you off track. Try to keep some of those things out of your way, out of sight, out of mind. You know what I mean? And it makes it so much easier to get back on track when you bring those things, introduce those things back into your kitchen.
No doubt.
You are in control.
Yes.
Topic number 3 tonight: the 5 tricks to control your appetite.
Oh yeah, let's talk about some of those. Come on, Dad.
Number 1, matcha tea.
Nacho, you want to talk about that a little?
Oh man, Lenny's a matcha man.
Come on, Lenny.
Oh, matcha man.
Matcha
man. I like matcha tea. Matcha tea is the bomb, though. I mean, this is what it looks like.
Is.
You can buy Bigelow. I mean, you can go get some from the health food store, Mom's Organic, Market Fresh Gourmet one day. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
But during your fasting window, matcha tea, because it could potentially break your fast. But matcha is a powerhouse.
Yes.
It triggers some hormones, what they call CCK, and I don't want to get too technical about it. But what CCK does, it helps your stomach to feel full. Also increases dopamine.
Yes.
You know what dopamine does? It gives you that ecstatic feeling, that high feeling that you feel so great about everything. It also helps to slow down the food breaking down into your intestines. And by doing that, it helps you to feel fuller longer, so you're not hungry as much.
That's a great point. Lenny, I want to take this second. I want to interrupt and take this second. I want to welcome London Harmon. London is someone who's brand new as well, who's jumping on the fasting protocols now. And she is a family member, so we want to give her some love as well.
Welcome,
how you doing there, London?
Yes, indeed.
Yeah, just give her some love.
Yeah, welcome.
And Anita Jackson just jumped on too. Hey, what's up,
doing, Anita?
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. So, and then matcha tea also promotes thermogenesis, which helps you basically to burn fat.
Yes, which is important, which is very important.
Into a fueled fat burning mode is what it does.
Yes.
The number 2 out of the 5 tips to really help control your appetite. 2 for Tupac, baby.
Tupac.
Apple cider vinegar.
Oh my God. One of y'all hit this one. It's a power.
Oh man, apple cider vinegar is an incredible tool in your arsenal. And I use it daily. I usually mix it. And once again, I take it during my fasting window, during my eating window. Even though apple cider vinegar, if you take it by yourself, you can use this during your fasting window as well, because the benefits far outweigh anything that would even slightly spike your insulin levels. Apple cider vinegar has many overall health benefits, and it lowers like glycemic index in your insulin. It lowers blood progression. It makes you feel full. So once again, those benefits far outweigh anything that would even a slight spike would cause. It can help you to eat 200, 300 less calories per meal, actually, because of those benefits of apple cider vinegar. And taking that all day long helps eliminate, a whole day of eating, if you think about that. So apple cider vinegar is a tool you definitely want to have in your arsenal. And I recommend using that every day.
No doubt. I take a couple teaspoons every day myself as well.
Yes.
And in this time period, you can gargle with that and actually clean your palate, but also it's a antiviral.
Well, that's definitely
concerned
big
about
these days and time.
viruses and stuff going around now. You can actually gargle with that and spit that out, because when you gargle it, it's used to clean your palate. So you want to spit that out, but then get your 2 tablespoons and drink some also.
So, hold on. I stopped the presentation because you just hit something that was extremely important. You said that it's antiviral is what you were saying?
Yes, it has an antiviral nature to it also. So literally you can, if you take a tablespoon of that and you swish it around your mouth for a few minutes and gargle it for, you'll feel it. And you do this one time and you'll feel exactly what I'm talking about. And you're like, good God, I'm super clean and you'll feel it all through your palate and also your throat when you gargle with it. So it's very, very good as far as the treatment is concerned. Indeed.
Apple cider vinegar, guys. Don't hesitate to use that. You want to use that.
That's the
Get
truth.
part of your regimen.
That's
Now, so let's talk about ginger a little bit. Let's talk about the power of ginger.
Oh, that's the next. That's number 3 on our 5 tricks to control your appetite. Like my boy Ice Cube was saying, number 3, baby.
Yes, sir.
Ginger, a tremendous powerhouse again in the arsenal that naturopathic ways. You can use this during your eating window, and what it does, it helps to stimulate leptin, and leptin and ghrelin are your 2 hormones that control your hunger or your satiation feeling in your body, and it helps you burn more fat cells by stimulating leptin much more so, and increases the hormone of leptin to send a signal and triggers to your brain that you feel full. So a lot of these things, these tricks that we're showing you are telling you it helps you feel full. So if you're feeling full longer throughout the day and throughout your fasting situation, you're going to just be naturally able to go those 16 hours, 18 hours, 20 hours, or whatever the protocol that you are into.
True indeed.
These are all tools in your arsenal, is what they are, basically.
That's correct.
Yes.
Number 4.
Number 4.
Fresh Prince of Bel-Air is talking about what?
Cinnamon.
Cinnamon.
Let's talk about cinnamon a little bit, brother.
You got to love cinnamon. You know.
Break that down, Natural.
Well, during your eating window, you can utilize cinnamon to mix in your meals, your smoothies, and what cinnamon does is slows down the uptake of sugars into your system. So it's very good to, if anybody has sugar, to kind of regulate that scenario, send signals to your brain that you're full also. And, when you're going through this, especially getting started, use all of these hacks to keep your mind feeling full, indeed. And makes you feel satisfied. It's extremely important. Especially starting, and even if you fall off and you get back on, think about these tools to get you right back in the groove again.
No question about it.
Right back in the very next day, and don't beat yourself up about it. Just jump right back in. But cinnamon is huge. I use it for quite a few things. I use it on my food. I use it sometimes in, like you said, drinks or smoothies. And I just love the effect of cinnamon. And you'd be surprised what has cinnamon in it. Actually, a lot of your curries have cinnamon in it.
Yes, I mean, that's something that you could sprinkle on things, something like eat oatmeal, or you can use it in your beverages and things of that nature, and they help with your appetite, no question about it.
Because you want to make those foods your medicine. You don't want to have to go to the doctor to get the medicine. Utilize that cinnamon and stuff like that as your medicine, because that's going to do some things. I mean, even back to ginger, it actually is good for your stomach health.
Yes.
If you have an upset stomach, take some ginger, slice it up, put it in some water, let it sit for a while and drink that, and it definitely soothes the stomach also.
Yes.
But trick number 5. You got to know what number 5 is. Who knows what number 5 is? Anybody know what number 5 is?
Hold on. Before we go to number 5, I want to thank a couple people for jumping on. Derwin Brooks, what's up, Derwin?
All right, Derwin.
And also want to acknowledge Cheryl Brooks and Lodi Mako, our buddy Lodi Mako. Joanne Jenkins is watching.
Keith Queen.
How you doing, Keith Queen? All right, so we just want to say hello to everybody who's on board, and we thank you guys for checking out the show. But let's talk about number 5. Let's pull up number 5. Peppermint. Oh my God. Now we think of peppermint when we think of candy, but peppermint
hold on.
is used in so many other things.
This brother got some peppermint. I got
There's some peppermint right there.
Hey, matter of fact, what's so funny? I got peppermint in my water right now, as you see.
Oh my goodness, boy.
I ain't talking about this later. I do this thing. For real. You're lucky I ain't had no ginger, because it would be in here too. Definitely.
Yeah, peppermint is a beast, man. I know.
Let's talk about those benefits. Talk about those benefits, if you would, Natural, of peppermint, adding peppermint, and what they can do for you and for your body overall.
Well, it's so much that peppermint does. I mean, and I would challenge anybody on the call to look up benefits of peppermint, whether you take it, whether you're smelling it, or whatever. But like I say, the study shows that smelling the scent of peppermint will decrease your consumption of food by 23% per day.
Good.
So if you smell it,
that's powerful, man. That is absolutely, that's really powerful. I hope you guys are picking up on some of these tips to control your appetite.
I keep peppermint in my car, the essential oil. So sometimes you want to smell a little fresh, and I might put the peppermint on. Other times I might need to put a little peppermint and taste some and put some on my tongue. Other times I'll take it as a car freshener and I'll sprinkle a little bit in the car. But the bottom line is when you smell it, it definitely soothes your mind. It's calming for your mind also. And what it does for your body is incredible.
Wow, that's great. That's great. These are some powerful little tricks and things that you can use to help to control your appetite. Welcome Clifton Golf as well. And Keith Queen wanted to say hello to yourself and me, Lenny, as well. So we want to say hello to Keith Queen.
Oh, hey, Keith, and Waverly Glenn as well, and Tanya Foot as well, everybody that jumped on. And look, we really we're going to close this thing out. Unless you guys got some questions, we're going to open up for questions in a second. So if you got a question, hold on. Cheryl Brooks says, I put peppermint in my bath. What do you think about that, Art?
Wow.
Great. Absolutely great. Indeed. Because guess what? Your skin is your biggest organ. And by it absorbing that peppermint, it's doing what it does even if you drink it. More importantly, when you're in that bathtub, I bet you if you ask her, that whole peppermint starts to permeate through that room. And if you throw a little candle up and relax, release, and relate, it's good for your mind and your body.
Awesome, Cheryl. That's an awesome tip that you shared with us in a way to use peppermint. That's
the other thing about peppermint, everybody, take some peppermint this year, plant it. Pick a corner of your yard, plant it in that corner. It comes back every year. That's why I got this in my hand, because it comes back every year.
Awesome.
It's resilient.
Yes.
So questions out there. If you guys got any questions, just type them in the chat group real fast. We'll be happy to hit them. And just as a reminder, we do this every Tuesday at 8 p.m. And
welcome once again. Welcome Clifton Golf. We want to acknowledge you as well for coming on board. Listen, as this show continues to grow, we also like to make it interactive. And part of the thing about this show is we want interactive action. So we want your input. We want you to talk about the topics that you would like to see us cover. We want you to ask your questions. We want you to add your comments. It's not only about the host, co-host, and the guests that come on frequently, but it's about you. This is a show that promotes sharing knowledge. We're not the end all and be all. There are things that you've learned along the way in your fasting lifestyle that you want to share with others as well. So we want you to add those. As a community, we all learn together. Natural, wouldn't you agree that as a community, we're all better, we all gain knowledge?
I'm so happy you said that, because it's so funny that, 20 years ago, I'm sitting beside Lenny in the studio like, look, man, don't eat that because blah, 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 blah. Mm-hmm. And a few years later, he was like, look, man, if you eat this and then you put this over here, man, he broke down stuff that, I may have been doing, but he studied, he dove deep. And and that's what it comes down to. We spark somebody else to spark us, to spark somebody else. And we continue on, man. This is beautiful what you guys are doing. And I want to take my hat off and in front of everybody, thank you guys for what you're doing, because a direct result of people not being healthy is what's going on with this pandemic. I almost said plandemic, but you know what I mean. The bottom line is, the plan is, if we're not healthy, we're going to fall off, period. Yeah. What y'all doing right now, Night Brothers, I just want to tell you straight up, you saving lives, man, and you changing families. You keeping a grandmother, a grandfather, a nephew, an uncle, a brother, a sister around for another month, another year, another 10 years, but not just there, being there at a higher operating level. And that's my whole thing. People like, you're always going to die from something. I said, but I'm sorry, I won't wake up tomorrow morning and run 5 miles and be able to do a day's worth of work without a sweat. I want to live here. I don't want to live struggling. You know what I'm saying? So what you lived till you was 80, but how did you live?
The quality of your life is what you're talking about.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But
listen, there's a question from Flower Blossom, and she asked the question, how can we make sure we're eating enough calories during our eating window? And which is an awesome question. And that's something, you know, we want to make sure that we at a calorie deficit. If your goal is, it depends upon your goal. If your goal is to lose weight, you want to have a calorie deficit, but you don't want the deficit to be at such that you throw your body into starvation mode. So, which will allow you, which actually will make you hold on and fight. So you want to, if you're a normal diet for a female is probably around 2,000 calories. So you want to make sure, even with the fasting, that you're at least at around a 1,500 to 1,600 calorie level for the day. So make sure you're getting enough calories and not at a deficit at such that it takes your body into starvation mode, which will allow it to then hold on to the fat, which is defeating our purpose. You understand what I'm saying? And now, you want to elaborate on that as well?
I mean, you hit it right there off the break.
Yes.
The only thing I would emphasize is how many people feel like their body's a Yugo?
Oh, yes.
How many people feel like their body is a cheap car?
Mm-hmm.
Or how many people are running around with a Testarossa Ferrari? Now, if you feel like you got a Ferrari, then let me ask you, if you had a Ferrari, would you put regular gas in the mother? No. You must be crazy. In my Ferrari, exactly. It's got to be high test. Matter of fact, I might have to stop past the airport to get airplane fuel to put in there. It's so hot. But the bottom line is we got to have that same mindset with our bodies and with our minds, because you put garbage in, you're going to get garbage performance.
Yeah, you won't run efficiently. Your body will not
run efficiently.
Yes.
And the bottom line is that if we're going to eat for a smaller window, then we're going to have to eat high quality foods.
Yeah, we want to make sure that those things that we eat are fueling ourselves properly, naturally.
Exactly
what you're saying. Yeah,
very much so.
Yeah, so like I said, that goes back to, Lenny, one of the things we talked about in breaking our fast. We don't want to break our fast and eat garbage. You don't want to break your fast and have 2 double cheeseburgers, a milkshake, and some fries, and some chocolate chip cookies, and an apple pie. It would be, even though conceivably you could get away with that, you're better off with having high quality foods. You want your salads, your soups, your vegetables, and whatever protein you may have. Naturally, you being a vegetarian, you eat in a little different way. But the thing is to be smart. Basically, what we're saying: be smart with what you choose to break your fast with, but make sure you get sufficient calories. To get back to Flower Blossom's question, make sure you're getting sufficient calories so that you don't throw your body into what's considered starvation mode, where your body will then try to hold on to the fat instead of releasing that fat as your alternative source for fuel, which is what our goal is and objective is.
And to add to that, Q, I think y'all pretty much nailed it. But to add to that, and I just have a couple people, hold on a second. Gladys Young just joined. It's one of my co-workers.
Gladys
Thanks
Young.
for joining, Gladys, and look at the show.
How you doing, Gladys?
You said you was going to look at it. You finally did. We got Joyce Griffin and Carla Owens-Clark, who also jumped in.
Right.
Listen, and it's also, I want to address Flower Blossom. She's hitting on some of my weak points here. She talks about, because I always talk about some of my kryptonite. And you guys, like I said, one thing about the fasting lifestyle, and I want people to understand this, we don't want people to feel deprived. You know what I mean? And there are certain things that if you do enjoy those things, just have them in moderation. And she hit on a couple of my things. She knows these are a couple of my weaknesses because I've talked about them. I love chocolate chip cookies, okay? Particularly if they're homemade.
Yes,
but I've learned that I have those in moderation. You understand? And she also talked about those homespun shakes sometimes you have. Once again, in moderation. That's not something I'm going to have all the time, but I treat myself to that because of the way I eat overall. My body can handle that, but I don't want to make that is something that I have consistently. And guys, we want you to understand that in the fasting, in your eating window, you can have some things and treat yourself. Don't feel because you're fasting that you have to deprive yourself of everything.
Correct.
So it's a matter of balance, correct?
That is definitely the truth there. And then, you find that you're working out, you're fasting, and as long as that's not something you're doing every day, you'll be fine. I mean, really, because, And you have to reward yourself. Bottom line.
No question about it.
You're doing
It's
such
a
a great
lifestyle. It's not a diet, it's a lifestyle. And I always say, look, this is not one of those things where, you know, I want to lose 30 pounds in the next month and a half. You want to lose 30 pounds, keep it off. You don't want to lose 30 pounds.
Yes.
You want to lose the 30 pounds. So if it takes 60 to 90 days or 120 days to lose the 30 pounds, I can guarantee you this with intermittent fasting. If it took that long to slowly come off, and you by then you got great habits.
That's what I was about to say.
Got this.
That's the key. That's the key.
You got this protocol down so good that it's almost gonna be impossible for you to gain the weight back unless you just go buck wild and just, you know, totally out of the protocol. That's what this is about. This is about a lifestyle scenario.
And that's a great point, little brother. Absolutely great point.
Very well put.
And developing those habits. Once you develop those habits and you get these fasting protocols down, it's going to be almost impossible to gain weight at that point, because it is so ingrained in you that even when you fall off just a bit and get back to it, you get right back into the groove, man. You really will. Great.
It's not hard too after you get the groove. But look, y'all, it's about 50 minutes in. We try to keep this thing under an hour. Look, we really want to thank y'all. Can everybody that's still on the broadcast right now hit the like and love button for Mr. Arden Smith, my man right here. Just hit that for me one time.
Yes. Give him some love.
Give him some love. Awesome guy that jumped on. I mean, he really was the one that set me on this whole lifestyle pattern many years ago. And I have evolved over the years from one situation to another to really control myself and get my dietary situation. I want to thank you, brother, for that.
Man, I thank you for doing that.
Let's give our brother Keith Colbert some love before we leave tonight as well, Lanny. One of our been a guest for us in the past and will be a guest in the future. Keith Colbert, we want to say hello to you as well, man, and just want to continue to give you the love for the job that you're doing when you're intermittent fasting. You're doing a wonderful job, man. You're setting a prime example of what can happen when you adapt this lifestyle, man. So much love to you as well.
We gotta have Keith back really soon, man.
Oh yeah, we definitely will, and we want to continue to have guests on. And folks,
one question. Yes. I want to challenge everybody out there to work with your children.
Yes.
Yes. Like that way. Yeah. Because like my children are, you know, they grew up kind of fasting one day and then doing an intermittent fast the next day, every week. Yeah. But just challenge your children to start eating like this, because what we want to create is a healthy community.
Oh yes, brother.
No question about it.
Bring your children along, bring your parents along, bring your sister, bring your cousin. You know, let them know what you're doing, because the bigger your village that's doing it with you, the stronger you'll become. You won't have your friends telling you, "Come on out at 10 o'clock. We're going to eat." No, they know you fasting because they fasting. Look, we're going out to eat at 6 because you got till 8. Yeah, we will be drinking tonight. You know what I'm saying? What that is. But make sure you expand, spread this, man. That's all I can say. Spread this throughout.
And your point is a very valid one, because statistically, our children now are really become obese. Let's call it like it is.
That's what it is.
The obesity level in elementary school now is out of control, and it's because of the eating habits that have been developed at a young age. The amount of sugar and carbs and things that they're consuming are showing, and it's telling on their bodies, and they exercise less as well because of video games and things of that nature. So they're less active. So those things have a tendency to affect them in a negative way. The way they eat, they're less active, and
what they're eating.
And what they're eating is
the first generation.
It's led to obesity. It's led to obesity in our children. So we want to address it.
It also hurts them cognitively too. So their brains are not working, not functioning.
Yes.
It's one of the huge points of things, because you can learn anything. You can correct anything in life. And I always say that.
Learn behaviors. Learn behaviors.
All of our behaviors are learned. We came
learn behaviors. Yes.
Came out the womb with very little, knowledge of how to live and how to apply ourselves, innately what God gave us in our body. But we learn everything. And so we can unlearn bad habits, reprogram ourselves to new habits, and become wealthy, healthy, rich, and everything else in life in many ways. So look, like I said, I promise y'all, We're gonna cut this brother
Right
tonight.
now.
And thank you, Arden Smith. Thank you,
Thank you
Keith,
for having me.
always.
Appreciate
And until next Tuesday night, 8 p.m., we will see y'all. So thank y'all.
Love you guys, and catch you
Love
next
y'all.
week. And don't forget
Yeah.
your topics for future shows. Drop those down in the box comments below, and we'll pick out some more future shows for you. Peace and love to you guys, man.